Hi fellow scientists. So, have you ever been outside on a really hot day and decided to get some ice cream or maybe even a popsicle, some kind of frozen treat? And then, as you're eating it, just a few minutes later, it starts melting everywhere. And all of a sudden, your hands get all sticky and the syrup just starts pouring down. Do you ever wonder why that happens? I know I did. And so, if you're like me, you might want to find out what causes this to happen. So, if you just want to follow me, we're going to do a quick at-home experiment to kind of try to figure out what's going on here and why stuff melts, okay? And that'll lead us to understand solids and liquids a little better, which we'll talk about later. So, come on and follow me. So first, what you want to do is collect 2 containers that look the exact same. So here I've got 2 Tupperware containers. These can be any type of container you want. They can be glasses that you pour water in. They can even be spoons, but you just want 2 that look the exact same, okay? And then you want to get a couple different other containers that don't look exactly the same. So I've got a little container that looks like this. Got this spoon here. And I've got a flower vase. Now you want to take the 2 containers that look exactly the same and put just a little bit of water in one. Just like that. You can fill it up with your sink if you need to. Whatever materials you have. And then you want to put an ice cube in the other. To further explore what's going on with this water, we're going to try it out in different containers or different objects that can hold it. Alright, so first we'll start out with this itty bitty little cup I have here. Alright, and if you have a container or cup or anything that is really small, you'll want to make sure if you have more water than is room in the cup that you stop ahead of time. So let's look at what water we were able to get in this cup and look at it. Is the water in the same shape it was before? Doesn't look like so to me. Draw what you see. Now we're gonna take this water in this new cup. We're gonna pour it in another container. For my container, I have this flower vase. Now I'll go ahead and take the water that I couldn't fit in that tiny cup and put the rest of it in the flower vase. Let's look at it. Look at that. Look how it moves. Does it look the same as it did in either one of the other containers? Draw what you see. Now we're going to take a look at what ice looks like in different containers. Alright, let's take another look at how it looks in this one. Let's take a look at its shape and how it looks in this bowl or whatever container you have your ice in. And then we're going to put it in a different one. Alright, so for mine, put it in this tiny container. Now look how this ice looks. If you don't have a small container to put your ice in, go ahead and draw what I have here. And note what you're seeing. Did the ice change so it looked like more like this container, like the water did? Did it stay the same? Okay, now that you've done that, we're gonna take the ice, put it in a and put that ice cube back in its original container, whatever that container might be. And now we're going to try something a little different. We're going to leave this ice cube in whatever container you have it in and we're just going to let it sit there and come back every 5 minutes to see if it's changed at all. So go ahead and draw a picture of what your ice cube looks like right now in your container. And then pause and come back 5 minutes later and draw it again. After 5 minutes have passed, look inside your container that is holding the ice. Do you notice anything different from how the ice looked before? Go ahead and draw your ice as it is in whatever container you have, whether that be a cup, a bowl, or something else. And just draw how the ice looks. Now we're gonna wait 5 more minutes. Now that we've waited another 5 minutes, we can see that yes, the ice should have started to change by this point. Go ahead and record in your notebook a drawing of what you see at this point, which altogether will have been 10 minutes since we originally started. Then we're gonna wait another 5 minutes. Now take a look at your ice after this amount of time has passed. What's different about it now? Hopefully you'll have noticed by now that there is more water, liquid water, in the container than there was when we first began. So now you can set the ice down and leave it alone until it melts fully. Okay everybody, by now your ice should have melted, as it has been all along, little by little, and you should be left with just liquid water that can move around your container. Very much like the regular water we started out with. They're actually the same now. And you saw that ice continue to melt and melt because the heat of the room made it slowly turn from the solid block form that we started out with to a liquid water. That's pretty cool, huh? And if you remember, before when the ice was still frozen, it didn't change shape like the water does. The water changes its shape to fit in whatever container you put it in, as we saw before. But the ice, when it's still frozen, doesn't do that because it's a solid, which means it has a definite shape. So if you remember when we put the ice in a container looking like this, the ice didn't fit quite right because it didn't change its shape at all to fit this container, while the water filled the container all the way up. So what in the world does that have to do with popsicles like we were talking about? Well, if you actually think about it, popsicles are a frozen solid, okay? And so popsicles, when you go outside in the summer sun, that heat takes that solid that's frozen and melts it, turning it into liquid. And that liquid is what gets all over your hands and gets sticky. The popsicle doesn't disappear, it just changes its form. So that's pretty cool. And actually, the molecules in a solid move like this. They're really close together. It's kind of like they're shivering. Just like that. But when they turn into a liquid, they start going like this. So they move against each other, just like that. And that makes it to where they can change their shape like the water in the container did. I hope this helps, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.